Hello, my kids. How are you today? Okay, so today we're going to talk about point, line, line segment, array, and a plane. So we're going to start with the point. So point can be anywhere in your plane, and this is a point. So point usually is labeled with the letter that is capital letter. So I can make a A. So this is point A, point, okay? We can just make point and arrow today. Okay, now I'm gonna do line. And line is, the line has to have straight line, but this is not line. Line has to have arrow on both sides because line never stops. Line goes forever to left, to right, and if it's it's in different directions, up and down, depending on how. So this is a line. We can label line with a little lowercase letter, so it could be line L. So if we say this is a line L. Also, line can have a point on it. So if we label the points, it could be point S or point K, but they are on line. So this is a line. When I talk about line segment is a part of a line. So line segment would be this S and K if there is no extending these arrows to the right and to the left. So line segment is the part of a line. So we can see that this could be a line segment right here. If I highlighted that, that could be a line segment. But that whole thing is a line. Okay, so we're going to draw a line segment. And if we just do the line, maybe this much, okay, and then we need the end points. So this line segment stops. It begins at M and it ends to N. Maybe I labeled that way. So we can label that as a line segment MN, and we write line at the top. If we're gonna label this as a SK line, we will do S and K, and we will do line on the top, but line has to have arrows, same as the line that it has that we just draw. So when you think about not having drawing, by looking the symbols, you will know I need to draw a line, the SK, that has 2 points on SK point on my line. And if I see this without drawing, I will see that I need to draw a line segment MN. And it's just a line like without arrows at the end. Okay? And that will be line segment. Okay. If we're gonna do ray has a start. For example, I'll do the rain pointing down. So it starts right here. It could be R, letter R for ray, and that is beginning of the ray. And the ray never stops on the opposite side. So we can label that air. And we can also have another point on our ray. If this is our ray, I'll label that. So we can have P letter on our ray, but we can label that ray RP and then a line with only one arrow at the end. So this, I know it has to be ray because it has only one array. It's not a line. Line has a two arrows on both sides. Line segment does not have any, and array has only one. Okay. And finally, we can talk about the plane. And plane is the plane is area that has at least to have 3 points on it. It's like a display. This is a plane because it's already has 1, 2, 3 the points in it. So usually how they make it, they draw like something like a parallelogram, and I'm gonna make little parallelogram right there. So if I make didn't have enough room to go all the way. Oops, you don't see it that. Okay, I'll try all over here. I'm sorry. You couldn't see the paper, so didn't realize that. So let's make parallelogram. So if I make one line, I can use my rulers to help myself to do parallel lines. So this is going to be my parallel line. One, and I'm gonna go keep the green ruler very steady, and just with one finger I can move the other to draw parallel line that is exactly parallel to opposite, and then I can do the bottom. If I make line of the yellow on a line, bottom line, I can draw the top line, and I will have my parallelogram parallel lines. Okay, so in this, if this is a plane, it has to have 3 points. So let's label these 3 points. That's requirement for a plane. What is a plane? It's a area P plane with at least 3 dots on it. A, B, and C. And that is called plane. Okay. So I was thinking maybe we can add to this parallel lines and perpendicular lines. So we can do that if we move the paper a little bit. Okay, so that way I'm going to make parallel lines right here. So the parallel lines, if I want to do I can do parallel lines this way if I would like to. So I'm going to do one line right here, and that could be line M, but I needed to make arrows at the end. That's one line, and then I can make my ruler that is parallel on that line, so exactly matching to that line. I can add my yellow ruler, and I can keep it strong, pushing toward each other, and then only with one hand I can pull my green ruler, and I create as many parallel lines as I want to. So it has to be parallel line. If this is another one, that would be, and then I can make another one. So these 3 would be parallel lines, 3 parallel lines. So let's label them. So if this is M, L, N. So we can say that how we can label it. We can say M is parallel to L, and L is parallel to N. So when we know that, these like parallel symbols, two lines like equal signed upside down are the parallel lines. So M is parallel to L, L is parallel to N, so is N is parallel to M as well. And that's what could be. We also could put the points on them. So if we have a point, that we can label the lines like A, B line. So we can say that, for example, and then here is C, D, okay, E, F, and then we can label that as a B line is parallel to EF line. EF line. On the EF line is parallel to CD line. You can go in any order because all three are parallel to each other. Okay, and if I'm going to create perpendicular line, I can use a compass, so I can write parallel lines. Okay. So these are parallel lines. If I want a perpendicular lines, I can do lines that I can use my compass, and I can teach you how to do that. So if I use this area, right? Wait, I need to go this way. Okay, I can use this area right here. So I can draw the line right there. And then if I make a point on it, I can make a 2 points on it. So 1 point here, 1 point there. And I can extend my ruler, my compass to how big is my line. Okay. So let's just move the paper so you can see better. There you go. Okay, so this is my 2 points on a line segment, and then I can extend my compass how big I wish to be the line to be right there, and then I will just create a semicircle on one side and another side, and I'm going to do that the same on a bottom as well. And as you can see, I have crossing arcs here and here. So if you don't see it, I can a little bit enlarge. So you can see what I did. Okay, so I drew the line, I choose the points, I opened the compass. How big is that? I drew one arc above that line segment, and another arc. When two arcs are crossing each other, I got a point. Okay, and then I will do the same on the bottom of my line on opposite side. So draw line, arc from one side, and I'm gonna do arc from other side, and can do the top, and I have another point. So here we go. I got my second line, and these two lines have to be perpendicular lines. Okay, so I can extend the lines and I can make arrows because lines never stop. And then I can definitely see that I created the perpendicular line because I can check they will form 4 right angles. So here is one right angle. Okay, here is another right angle. There is a third right angle. And the fourth right angle that I created. So I can also prove it by measuring it. If I put the center of the protractor right there, it will shows you that it's pointing to 90 degrees. So if I look from here all the way to from 0, it's pointing to 90. So from this line to that line is 90 degrees. And then we can label it as this, showing that that is right angle. We can, all these are right angles, so practically create a square around in some way, because all are 90 degrees angles. 90, and then all circle actually for 90 degrees angle, they create a circle, they create 360 degrees. And these are called perpendicular lines. We can label lines. So if this is L line and this is M line, we can label them by saying that a line L is perpendicular to line M. And that will show that this line is perpendicular to this one, or vice versa, this line is perpendicular to this line. Okay, and as you can see, that if I think this is 90 degrees, this is 90 degrees, this is 90 degrees, and this is 90 degrees, the whole will create a circle when I add up 490 degrees, and girls, I will have a whole 360 degrees. Okay, I would also add one more, which could be, so let me write it down, label. So these are perpendicular lines. So perpendicular lines. Okay, you can see what we did when we narrow it down. We can say we did point, we did line, we did line segment, we did ray, we did plane, we did parallel lines, and we did perpendicular lines. Thank you very much for listening. I hope you like it.